Hello and welcome to everybody. Today we're going to do a practice that, as usual, is going to focus a lot on our breathing and linking that breath, or rather linking the movement with our breath. But I also want to start touching in a little more to keeping very focused awareness throughout our practice, but at the same time being able to be in a calm, relaxed state. And that's actually a little more difficult than it sounds, but with practice, just like everything else, it does get easier. So what you want to do is have a good balance between alignment and focus on the alignment and a deep awareness, but release all the tension in the body, that especially the tension that you don't need. So let's just start right now on doing that in our seated posture. So come into the most comfortable seated pose of your choice, whatever that is for you today. And of course you want to feel the sits bones underneath pressing into the surface, and that will enable you to get a lot taller through the torso. So just try that, and as you're settling in, maybe a little movement. And start to go inward and be aware of all the sensations that even just this seated posture is bringing up in the body. Any little movement you need, a lot of times just rolling the shoulders up, back and down is good. And once you start to settle and you can feel the sits bones pressing down and a little lift in the heart, you can just start to then focus on your breathing. So as you're doing that, if you need to shift in any way, you want to be comfortable, but still be aligned. So there's the challenge. So you're feeling the sits bones pressing down, a little lift in the heart, and you're also feeling the crown of the head pointing upward. And then begin to focus a little more on long, slow breaths. So you're just lengthening, softening the breath as you know how to do, releasing any tension that might be in the face. So this is what letting go of the tension that you don't need means. You must be erect in the posture, but you don't need to be tight in the face and shoulders. So just lower your eyes now, if you haven't already done that. And you're having at least a 6 count on the inhales and exhales by now. You can have a little pause in between each inhale and each exhale if that feels comfortable. And then once you've lengthened and softened the breath, start to add in that three-dimensional quality where you actually can feel the chest expand when you inhale three-dimensionally all the way into the back body and the side body. And maybe you can bring it all the way into the tummy as well as you inhale if you have enough breath for that. But then when you exhale, you want to feel that little firming in the navel area. And then of course the rib cage will start to compress a little bit as you expel that stale breath. So just like that, just a few more breaths like this. And you're feeling the deep expansion every time you inhale. And you're feeling that compression when you exhale. And even with your breathing, you're creating a full body experience here. And then on your next exhale, you're going to just release the arms, the hands to the sides of the body. And then turning the palms outward, you're going to inhale and breathe the arms up, keeping the torso nice and vertical. Reaching, getting even more length. And on your next exhale, you're going to turn the palms outward and just release the arms down to the sides of the body. Once you feel your fingertips touch the floor, you can put your hands to the heart, pressing those palms together. Big inhale, feeling the sternum touch into the thumbs. And then as you exhale, just lower the gaze, lower your head. Namaste. Welcome. So let's go ahead and come now to a reclining position. I'm going to go this way. If you're sitting on something, of course, you want to put that right out of your way. And feel yourself stretching out into this reclining position with a nice focus on the core strength as you lie back. And when you first come to this lying down position, just start to sway a little bit side to side. Just let your body settle in. And flex your feet so it feels like you're standing on a surface. And then raise your arms over your head. Reach, reach, reach. And you can just put your thumb straight back and down on the floor. Hold your arms just a little bit, an inch or two away from the floor. And every time you inhale, see, can you get a little longer? And you want to feel that length from the middle of the body outward. So yes, your arms and legs are getting longer when you inhale, but it's coming right from the midline, the torso of the body. And then when you exhale, you can release a little bit more to the floor and feel as though your abdominal core is just drawing slightly inward. So see if you can imagine every time you exhale, it's creating just a little concave area in the pit of your stomach and the pit of your abdomen. When you inhale, you're getting longer, really stretch. And when you exhale, just release and draw that abdominal core just a little bit inward. And last one, inhale, really get long through the torso and arms and legs. And exhale. Feel yourself release as the tummy button goes back towards the spine. And then let go of this nice, lovely, full frontal stretch as you bring the arms alongside the torso and just bend the knees. And make any little adjustment you need. Remember, you're really having awareness on every sensation in your body, but you're trying to release as much as of the tension as you can. Bringing the right thigh towards the body, interlock your hands just above that right shin and stretch the left leg out. And keep your awareness even on these very familiar movements so that as you exhale, right thigh's coming in towards the chest. And when you inhale, a little focus on the extended left leg as you create a little more length in that leg. So toggle back and forth between the awareness of the exhale where you're bringing the thigh towards the body and the inhale where you're stretching that extended leg outward. Just like that. Very good. And then the next time you're going to inhale, you're just going to bring the right leg straight up, and you can interlock your hands around the back of that leg if you'd like. Stretch out as much as you can by pressing out through the heel. Feel the length in the back of that leg. And then bend and extend the leg just a few times. The next time you've inhaled and stretched the leg back out, I want you to have a nice awareness of the interlocked hands pressing into the thigh. At the same time, the thighs pressing into those interlocked hands. And you're using about half your strength, about 50% of your strength here, and pressing one into the other. And as you do that, remember, you don't need your neck muscles, you don't need your shoulder muscles, so the head, neck, and shoulders is relaxed. All the work is coming right from your leg, and just feel that. Breathe nice, long, slow breaths, even though you're working in the thigh. And then you can release. You can let go of those interlocked hands and bend and extend the leg a few times. And then press up one more time and just see, is that leg able to get any longer? And maybe it can, maybe it can't. Bend the knee. And if you will, bend the opposite knee and put the left sole of the foot on the floor so that you can just cross that right ankle onto your left knee. Bringing the arms out to the sides, at least a 45-degree angle. As you exhale, you're just going to bring the knees over to the right. Both legs will go over with that little hook you've got. And just breathe a few times here. You want to feel a little focus in that left shoulder trying to go towards the floor a little more. The right knee will go as close as it can to the floor. It doesn't matter if it touches, remember. And as you breathe long, slow breaths, become aware of this line internally from the left shoulder to your left hip point. And you'll feel that stretch in the left side body. One more long, slow breath. And to come out, you want to press into the elbows, and on an exhale, lift back up again. And once you're there, you want to uncross and stretch that right leg up and press the foot towards the ceiling. Bend the knee and hook one more time, that right ankle over the left knee. And this time you're going to, on an exhale, bring the left sole of the foot off the floor, and the unit of both legs will come a little closer into the body. Reach through, interlock your hands just behind that left thigh, and have a few breaths where you're exhaling and you're just bringing the unit of both legs slightly closer in towards the body. Any amount, just feel the edge of sensation there. And of course, you're feeling it probably in the right hip and maybe all the way into the right hip joint every time you exhale and bring those legs a little closer. And remember, what's doing the work, again, is your lower body, a little bit of abdominal core work, but your head, neck, and shoulders should be relaxed along the floor. And slowly release the hold of your arms, or your hands rather. Bring them right to the sides of the body. And slowly on your next exhale, bring the left sole of the foot back to the floor. Uncross, and again, stretch the right leg up, and then exhale it down slowly to the floor. And then from here, you're going to draw the left thigh into the body, interlock your hands just above that left shin, and make sure that those extended right toes are pointing straight up to the ceiling, so that extended leg's not floppy and lazy. It is nice and in alignment right with the hip and knee. As you exhale, you're bringing the left thigh closer into the body. And when you inhale, remember, you're just energetically, but you're trying to lengthen out in that right leg a little bit. Exhales, you're focusing on bringing the left thigh into the body. And inhales, lengthening that right leg. And again, on the exhale, feel those sensations as you bring the thigh in. And inhaling, extending the right leg out. And then you're going to let go of your interlocked hands, and you're going to inhale and bring that left leg up, pressing it up towards the ceiling, and then interlock your hands behind the thigh. And just feel how much can that stretch. It might feel quite tight to you. And then bend and extend the knee on the left side just a little bit. And the next time you inhale and stretch the left leg up, focus on pressing those interlocked hands right into the thigh. And you're also pressing the thigh right into those hands. Remember to relax your shoulders, relax your head and neck, and just feel yourself working about half of your body strength, your leg strength. You're pressing the leg into the thighs and pressing back your hands into the thigh. And you're still having long, slow breaths. You may feel a little vibration starting in the thigh, and that's fine. In fact, that's good. Just hold it for another breath. And then release, and see how much you can stretch that leg up, and bend and extend a few times. Sometimes you might get a little more length when you do that. Very nice. Bend the left knee, and then bring the right sole of the foot on the floor, so you have a little place where you can hook the left ankle right over that right knee. Bringing the arms out to the sides, and this time, of course, you're going to exhale and go over to the left. Nice little stretch and twist. You can look over in the direction opposite of your knees and just allow that right shoulder to go heavy. And again, be aware of that internal line, probably running from your right shoulder to your right hip point. It might even go all the way over to your left hip point. And you're feeling that stretch in the right side of the body. Nice, slow breathing. And when you're ready to come up, you want to look to center, a little pressure through the elbows as you exhale, and go ahead and bring those knees right back to center. Uncross and stretch the left leg up and press the sole of the foot towards the floor. And then bend the left knee and recross again. And now this time you're going to raise the right sole of the foot on an exhale so you can interlock your hands right behind now the right thigh. Just have a few breaths with a nice relaxed head and shoulders. You're going to exhale and encourage the unit of both legs a little closer into the body. And just be aware of the sensations and be aware of where you're feeling those sensations. Lovely. And then holding with your core strength, you're going to let go in the hands, the interlocked hands. And on your next exhale, you're just going to lower that right sole of the foot back to the floor. Uncross and stretch the left leg up, pressing the heel out, and take that long, strong leg to the floor as you exhale. Oh, lovely. Have another full frontal stretch, just briefly. One breath here. And then as you exhale, bringing the arms back down to the sides of the body, bend both knees and draw both knees now in towards the chest. And just capture both shins and knees in with your hands, with the forearms and wrists possibly. Just have a little movement, and what you're focusing on is as if the tailbone is a bit of a pendulum and it's just going a little side to side. You just feel that gentle and subtle movement in the pelvis when you do that. And then coming to the center, you're going to widen the groins and thighs even more, and then you're rocking side to side. And you're keeping the breath again, long, slow. It's a 6 count inhale and exhale throughout the practice. And slowly you're just going to come to stillness when you feel ready and bring the thighs back together again. And from this position, we're all going to maybe tuck our chins in and try to roll up to a seated position. And from here, we're going to come right to tabletop position. So in the tabletop position now, remember it is a pose in and of itself. So make sure you've positioned yourself with awareness. So the fingers are separated, of course, and the wrists are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. Just one tiny little bit of a honing of your position. Take the weight just very subtly into the inner hands. And then, as if you're trying to unscrew a jam jar with the right, the inner hand is going to go very, very subtly and just a 1/4 of an inch towards the right. And the left is going to go a little bit towards the left. And just notice when you do that, it actually encourages the inner elbow creases to go forward, and it opens up your shoulder joints just a little bit. So that's important, particularly in the more difficult poses like plank and downward facing dog. But let's just get started right in tabletop so that it becomes a full body strengthening experience. Building your strength and your flexibility. We're going to continue with cat-cow so that as you inhale, little pressure in that inner hand as you drop the tummy down, lifting the tailbone, lifting the sternum, and as you exhale, feel that abdominal contraction as you round the spine. So feel yourself really stretching now the back body, and on the inhale, coming into the cow position, you're stretching the front body. So just toggle back and forth on your breathing between those two movements. Lovely. And the next inhale, if you will, just come back to your tabletop position. And then go ahead and put your hands one hand length further ahead. Flex those toes under and come on into your downward facing dog. Remember, as you push the floor away, you want to immediately start getting your legs involved in the work of bringing the hips up. So find that optimum downward facing dog position for yourself. And maybe you'll want to pedal on the spot just a bit. The idea is to really make this your own so that you're not mechanically following my instructions. You're actually coming into the pose with your full awareness of all the sensations and trying to maximize everything for your own body. Little movement here. And then let's go ahead and drop the knees. And go ahead and put your elbows right underneath your shoulders. And from here, we're going to come into a forearm plank. So you may need to walk your elbows a little bit forward, but as you bring the legs back into a forearm plank, make sure that you can feel, of course, your core supporting you, but try to find a little more length. Maybe go back and forth a little bit, forward and back. Pressing into those forearms, looking straight down, keeping a beautiful long neck. You're staying long in the spine, but the core is really doing lots and lots and lots of work. You feel the weight on the big toe mound, under the big toe mound, and your thighs are engaged as well as the abdominal core drawing in. And when you've had enough, drop your knees to the floor and go ahead and lower all the way, tummies to the floor. Dropping forehead to the floor and bring the finger points right back towards your shoulders. Hug those elbows in and feel a little rootedness through your pubic bone. Just have a few low cobras now, so that as you inhale, just lifting up in the sternum, maybe tractioning back just a little bit with the hands, and exhale, releasing back down again. And then again, as you inhale, you want to feel these shoulders really come away from the ears so you have a long neck. You don't have to rise up high, but do not press down with the hands. You're just tractioning back a little bit. And release the forehead to the floor. And then one more time, inhaling, raising the heart, looking forward. And exhaling, releasing back down again. Nice big breath, and then power up, pressing into the hands. You're going to lift back up again. And let's come in one more time to our downward facing dog. Very nice. And again, we're going to drop the knees to the floor. Hands are again under the shoulders. Remember, we're trying to find steadiness and stability, but still releasing what we don't need. So from here, I just want you to raise the right leg and press it right back. And try to find really strong stability, but also have your neck be relaxed. The crown of the head is pointing to the wall in front of you, and that foot is pressing towards the wall behind you. Can you feel the gluteal muscle on the right engage? If all is well, on your next inhale, you can reach out with the left arm. So you're really long, but that length isn't just starting from the shoulder joint and hip joint. It's starting from the midline of the body. So both sides of the waist are long. And release when you need to. Just exhale it away. And from here, just in between now, we're just going to have a little puppy stretch. So bring your hands forward. Your elbows are now underneath your shoulders, or maybe even a little forward, and just release back. So your hips won't probably touch back towards your heels very much, but you're just trying to release and lengthen the spine. So it feels like maybe your heart is just trying to release a little more towards the floor. Long, slow breaths. We're warming up, so we don't want to hang out here too long. Come back up again. So the hands are in the tabletop position, and when you're ready, you're going to raise the left leg and press that sole of the foot towards the wall behind you. And start to build this length carefully, being aware, again, that the neck wants to be relaxed and the work is happening. Feel the work in the gluteal muscle and in the leg, of course, and the core has to work. When you feel like that's stable, all is well, you can inhale and raise the right arm as well. And be aware of the length, and it happens right from the midline of the body outward in either direction. That left gluteal muscle's working hard, but your face is relaxed. Your breath is long and slow. Lovely, and you get to release when you need to. That's great. Coming back. And go ahead and sink your hips right back into a child's pose, an extended child's pose now, so that what you're feeling, the arms are really long to the point that you're not probably going to be able to put your forehead to the floor because you're really reaching forward, but you want to let your hips settle back towards your heels just as much as your body will allow. And breathe and feel that low back extend as much as it can. So it wants to release and extend. And then come on to the finger points of those fingers, so you're teeping those fingers. Maybe even a little more length in the spine and in the arms. And slowly, on an exhale, go ahead and walk your fingertips over to the right. And once you get as far as you want to go, you're probably off the mat. Then you can exhale, release into that a little bit. Just a couple breaths, feeling the side stretch in the left side of the body. Look up as you inhale and let the fingers walk back to center. And the next exhale, you can walk over to the other side and release on the exhale. Once you get to that position, just release it. Just have a couple breaths where the body can really maximize this stretch. And inhaling, looking up and walking those fingertips back towards center. There you are. And release all the way down, elbows to the floor. And then cross the forearms over and just rest your forehead on those arms, just on your forearms, just for maybe 3 breaths. And when you inhale, really feel the inflation all through the rib cage and torso, back body, armpits. And when you exhale, just allow the progressive abdominal contraction. And you want just maybe 3 breaths, because we're going to come to standing now. Uncrossing the arms and drawing back. Just let those fingers trace back on the mat towards your knees. And you know how to do this now. We're going to come to a squatting position. Just flex your toes under first. And then roll onto the balls of the feet. And let's enjoy this, as long as it's not painful or uncomfortable for you. See if you can maximize even the squatting movement, so that you might want to go from one leg to the other, or rather press into the ball of each foot one at a time. And hopefully you can really feel that stretch in the calves all the way down to the Achilles tendon. So you know what to do from here. When you're ready to stand, we're going to press into the balls of the feet and just lift our hips away from our heels. It takes a lot of strength in your thighs, but try to do that, and we'll all end up in a standing position. So now that we're all in standing, go ahead and find your mountain pose. So you want your feet parallel with each other and toes all pointing forward. And just find your position. You can rock a little bit forwards and backwards and start to feel the pressure in that little triangular point on your feet under the big toe mound, little toe mound, and the heel. And really feel that strength as you gently anchor into the floor. You can get lots of length through the torso that way. Lovely. And then on your next inhale, just begin to inhale the arms out to the sides and up over your head, maintaining all you've created in your mountain pose, that lovely length. And as you exhale, palms turn down and you just float those arms down. Do this a couple more times with your long, slow breaths. And that movement, of course, is following the breath. And the next time you exhale, just come back to your mountain pose. Relax the shoulders, maybe roll them up, back and down a few times. Let your hands touch right at the front of the hips or the front of the thighs. And we're just going to come down into a forward bend now. So a little softness in the knees, a little bend in the knees. Just let your hands slide right down your thighs, all the way down. And notice if you're putting more weight on one side of the foot or the other. I actually notice I'm putting a little more weight into the little toe side. See if you can come down and maintain Tadasana, mountain pose, feet all the way down. Maybe you can come down all the way so your feet are clasping, your hands rather, are clasping your ankles. And if that's not possible for you, of course, you're going to come down just as low as you can. Wherever you are, make sure you keep that connection of hands either on the ankles, on the top of the feet, or somewhere on the shin and clasp. And then as you exhale, release a little more fully so the navel's coming closer to the spine. You're bending your knees as much as you need to, and you're trying to release your tummy and chest towards the thighs. And then inhale, you release away from that just a little bit. All I want you to do is just like you do in the very beginning, where you really start moving and creating your own little pose here. I want you to just release into the pose. Do any little movement you need to come into this forward bend nice and comfortably. And after just a couple, 3 breaths of doing that, I want you to really press into your hands wherever they are, ankles, tops of the feet, or shins. And I want you to release down on your next exhale. Nice firm abdominal contraction as you lower as much as you can into Uttanasana. And press downward with the hands and the arms right into wherever part of the leg you're touching. Lovely. Little bend in the knees, drop your bums just a little bit. And as you inhale, sweep your arms up and come back forward up. Very nice. And exhale, release. Continuing to warm up and strengthen the body now. We're going to separate out maybe 3 feet, the legs away from each other. Hands to the sides of the body. Let the palms of the hands touch the sides of your thighs or your hips. As you inhale, you're going to raise just the left arm as you come up onto the ball of the left foot. So the left heel's rising up. Rise up all the way, a little bit beyond straight up. So a little bit towards over the head movement. As you exhale, all you're going to do is drop the knee. Drop the heel, and you're going to feel that little subtle internal movement as you do that. Lovely. And then as you inhale, you're going to reach over the head a little bit more. That right hand is your anchor against the side of that leg, and you're going to come into a side bend as much as you can, and maybe look up a little bit. And can you hold this for a couple of breaths? Strong side stretch now. When you come up, You need to do this on an exhale with a nice firm abdominal contraction, nice and safe, coming back to the starting position. Same thing, other side. This time the left hand is going to be your brace, right hand is going to rise up, and you're coming up onto the ball of the right foot as the right heel rises up. You're going to take that all the way up, just a little past center, and then as you exhale, lower that right heel. Just feel that tiny movement cause when you do that. And then you're ready. Inhale, reach over. That left hand is bracing you on your thigh. And just come over into as pure of a side bend as you can. And just have a couple of breaths here. And when you're ready to come up, remember strong abdominal core and come up on an exhale. Lovely. And let's do this on the breath now. So we're going to move a little faster, just a couple more times on either side. So as you inhale, left arm rises, left heel rises. As you exhale, left heel drops. As you inhale, you're reaching over. As you exhale, you're lifting back up again. As you inhale, right arm rises, right heel rises. As you exhale, right heel drops back down again, and then inhale into more of a side bend. And exhaling, coming out. And again, inhaling, raising the left arm, left heel. Exhaling, dropping that left heel. Inhaling right into the side bend. And exhaling, coming out. Last one, right arm rises, right heel rises. And exhale, right heel drops. And inhale, reach and do your side bend nice and fully as you can. As you exhale, coming out. And just bring your feet just a little bit together, a little bit more, about halfway. And then just do a little bit of going side to side, nice full flowing motion. And again, you're trying to let your body know and your mind know that movement is easy, your body's flexible and strong. And then let that movement dissipate, and then you can come back together again. This time I want you to stand right at the top of your mat. A little bit wider stance than usual. So maybe 18 inches apart, your feet. Step back and a long walking stride with the left foot. And see if you can bring all 10 toes to face the front. So if you need a little more width between your feet for stability, you can find that now. Hip points are pointing straight ahead, lovely. And when you're ready, you're just going to inhale both arms over your head. Both legs are going to be relatively straight now. As you exhale, just bring the arms to shoulder height. As you inhale, you're bringing just the left arm up over the head, the same arm as the leg that's behind you. Reaching up. And as you reach up, also feel the left heel, the back heel, really pressing down. So just have that moment of really feeling that intense length. As you exhale, you're going to bring that left arm right back towards or behind you, and maybe you can gaze back and just as far as you can and notice. So right arm's pointing forward, left arm's pointing back, lovely. As you inhale, like a little pendulum, let that left arm come down and up and forward. Press into the back heel as the left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, let it come back. And inhaling, the arms just rolling like a pendulum, right back up again, reaching up at the top of that inhale, pressing down through the back heel, and exhaling back into the twist. And If you can now, hold this little twist for just a couple of breaths. So the left arm's behind, right arm's forward. And feel the engagement fully in both soles of the feet. Nice, long, slow breaths. And when you're ready, you release the arm down. Let the hips slowly turn forward. Both arms up. And just have a moment where you sink into a warrior pose. So the front knee is bending now. And back leg, back foot is pressing into the floor. And release, arms down, legs straighten. And go ahead and step up. So you're back, standing at the top of your mat. Feet about 1.5 feet apart. You're going to do the same thing on the second side, of course. So as and when you're ready, right leg steps back. And just adjust your position so you can be comfortable. Remember, this is your yoga pose. Let it fit your body. You want all 10 toes pointing directly forward if possible. So don't let those back toes skew out to the side, or not very much anyway, not more than a fraction of an inch. Lovely. And then inhale, reach the arms up, press into the feet. Exhale, arms come just to chest height. On the next inhale, right arm goes up, and when it gets to the very top of your head, press into that back heel. And as you exhale, reach back with that right arm and look behind yourself. And inhaling, the arm swings back down and then up like a pendulum. When you get to the top, remember you want to feel the length from the finger points to the back heel. And exhaling, rolling back into a twist. And just follow the breath, or let the movement follow the breath. And the next time you've inhaled and you've reached up, prepare on your exhale to come into the twist and stay there for 2 or 3 breaths. You want the front arm pointing dead center and the back arm pointing as far back as you can. When you're ready to release, you're just letting go. Let that back arm come back to the side as you turn your pelvis to the front. Let the arms come straight forward again as you inhale. As you exhale, come into your warrior one. Reaching up with the arms and pressing into the back foot just a little bit more. And release. Very lovely. And then step forward. And so from here, we're going to start just another little sequence, and I want you to listen to your body as much as possible. Stay with me if you can. If you ever need to pause, of course, you know you can. So if we'll all just come to the very tops of our mats, you can put your feet just a little closer together now. You want to find your mountain pose, pressing through those 3 points at the bottoms of your feet. Let the tailbone point between the heels. Let the crown of the head point towards the ceiling. And just place your hands to the heart. Let your breath be long and slow. As you inhale, just feel the breastbone press into the thumbs. And as you exhale, bow the head. As you inhale, looking forward and up, raising the arms right up overhead. And exhale, both arms come down. We're coming into a forward bend, nice bent knees. Fingertips touch the floor. Bend your knees as much as you need to let that happen. As you inhale, lift your chest. And as you exhale, a little bend in the knees. Slowly bring the right leg back and the left, and find yourself in a plank pose. Be really strong for that breath. You know what to do with the arms. Arms are really strong and the shoulders are really supporting you. As you exhale, let's lower to the knees. Let's lower all the way to the floor into our cobra. bringing the finger points back, lifting into your cobra. And as you inhale, right back into plank, right back into downward facing dog. Lovely. And then from here, we're all going to just walk back to the very tops of our mat again. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, release into a forward bend. Inhale, lift, arms up over the head. And exhale, finish with hands to the heart. Very good. So stay with me if you can. Here we go again. Exhale, lower the arms. Inhale, both arms come up over the head. And exhale, release. Inhale, rise. Exhale, plank. And exhale, this time into downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, bring the right knee close to that right elbow. You really want to keep strong arms so it feels like the weight is in the inner hand and the inner arms are like holding on to a big beach ball. Inhale, stretch out back into the three-legged dog. And now we're really going to go for it. As you exhale, bending that knee, bringing that leg under the body, step forward into the high lunge. Arrange yourself so there's a little space between right and left on your legs. We're going to go for it. We're going to try to come into warrior one from here. So you may need to support yourself a little bit on that hand, but you're trying to come up to a warrior one. If that works for you, fantastic. If not, you may have to just come into warrior one. From your warrior one, reach up. Really draw the ribs and the tummy close in. Nice and slowly now, you've got length in the front of the body. We're going to melt into warrior two. So on an inhale, just bring that back leg, pivot that back leg out. And can you come right into warrior two from your warrior one? It's tricky, but it takes a lot of awareness. So you want to be really safe with the hip. So of course, as you're doing this, you want to make sure that right knee is pointing dead center. Be strong in your warrior two. On your next inhale, let's come into peaceful warrior. So right arm goes up, left arm goes back. Maybe you can bend the elbow and put the back of the hand onto the small of your back. Nice and slowly on the inhale, come back into warrior two. And we're going to pivot. Again, coming back into the lunge. So it's tricky. It really challenges your balance. Bringing hands to the floor. Once you get there and the feet are turned in the right direction forward, I want you to inhale, raise that right arm out and up to the side, over your head, into a twist. And slowly exhale, hand comes back down. Voila, there you are, into your lunge again. Bring that right leg back on the exhale into downward facing dog. Nice, long, slow breaths. So you want to form the pose very carefully with your awareness here. And you're ready for the other side. You're going to inhale the left leg back. As you exhale, just bring that left knee towards the left elbow, really strong in the arms. Inhale, bring it back into your three-legged dog. And next go, we're going to step all the way through. So as you exhale, bring that left leg forward. Place it there if it doesn't get into the right position. Make sure you're strong enough in your high lunge. Feet are separated enough so that you can lift yourself up into a warrior one. So just place yourself there as you know how to do. Remember, you want length now as you reach. You want length in the front of the body and you want core strength. So moving from the core now, we're going to come right into warrior two. You're pivoting on the ball of that back foot, making sure that front leg is doing its job, setting that back heel down. There you are in warrior two. On the next inhale, come into peaceful warrior, rising up in that left arm, maybe bending the back elbow so you can just tuck the back of the hand into the small of the back. And inhaling back into warrior two. From here, we're going to pivot back into a high lunge. So with your mindful awareness, it really challenges your balance. You're going to pivot onto the ball of the back foot, keeping the front thigh strong, reaching for the floor. When you get there, steady yourself, and you're going to inhale and come into a twist, pushing back with that back heel. Lovely. And exhaling, coming back to the floor. And on your exhale, back into your downward facing dog. Inhale into plank. And let's all exhale, just knees to the floor. And inhale into a modified upward facing dog. Lovely. As you exhale, let's all come into pose of a child. And you're very welcome to double your fists and just let your forehead rest there. But the idea is to come down slowly as far as you can. And you're very welcome to stay with your forehead on your fists if you'd like. Release any tension in your low back. Just long, slow breaths here. Very good. And then all of us, when you're ready, we're going to slowly meet in downward facing dog. And when we're all there, we're going to walk back to the top of the mat. Raise up on the inhale, a little bit of heart lift, and then exhale, bending the knees, settling into the forward bend. And inhale, sweep up, and exhale, hands to the heart. Very good. Just have 2 or 3 long, slow breaths here. Really paying attention to how you're feeling. Hands to the heart. Lower the eyes, relax your face, and really go inward here. How are you feeling as you take your next long, slow breath? Is everything okay? Release the shoulders. Release tension in your face. And then we're all going to come to the floor into a seated position with legs extended. So we're all in now Dandasana or staff pose. So the legs are extended in front. Hands are on either side of your hips. So remember the L shape of this pose. So sits bones is your focus point. From the sits bones up to the crown of the head, one long line. And then again from the sits bones out to the soles of the feet, another long line. Nice long slow breaths. And then slowly we're going to come into a twist. So all you need to do is just start to tug that right heel back. You can get it just as close as is comfortable to your right sits bone. We're going to keep this really simple. We're going to keep the foot just as it is. Once you find the point of comfort, you're going to bring the right fingertips right behind your right hip. Press out maybe into the finger points. The idea is to keep weight on both sits bones evenly and maybe wrap your elbow around that bent knee. First step. Second step is just to inhale and get some length from sits bones to crown of the head. And then start coming into the twist nice and slowly on the exhale. So from the navel up, you're turning to the right and you're holding steady. You're gathering, keeping that right knee from bending out. It's pointing straight up to the ceiling. Your chin is parallel. You may need to move those right fingertips as you come into the twist. Just let it serve you as best as possible, keeping the nice leverage you need. to come into a twist. And then slowly let the right collarbone just melt a little more to the right as on your next exhale. And just allow yourself to take 2 or 3 long, slow breaths once you find the twist. When you're ready to come out, just inhale and slowly let the body come back to center. Extend that right leg out and briefly come back into staff pose or Dandasana. And we'll do the same thing on the second side. Just slide that left heel back towards the hip. You want to get it as close as is comfortable for you. Left fingertips come behind and they are a nice anchor for the body. You're trying to keep the body upright. The right toes are pointing up to the ceiling and you're just gathering that bent left knee into the forearm or into the elbow or wrist. And you're trying to get length first, remember. So feel the length from the sits bones to the crown of the head, very important. And then slowly on your exhales, you're going to start morphing into your twist. The face is relaxed and you're breathing long, slow breaths. And just notice the challenge. It's totally natural to have a little more of a challenge in breathing in a twist. You're breathing into the pose. And once you're there, you're going to have 3 breaths, long, slow breaths right in the pose. And you're just making the space inside the body to accommodate that breath. When you're ready to come out, it's nice and slow. You just inhale, slowly let the body come back to center. And stretch out in that leg. Come right onto the very point of your sits bones and then bend the knees. Put the soles of the feet together and clasp right around your own feet. As you inhale, press into the sits bones and get nice and tall. Look forward. And as you exhale, you want to feel, it's like a cat-cow movement. You want to feel the tummy drawing in and just look down slightly. A couple more breaths like that as you inhale, breathing up, lifting the heart, looking up. And as you exhale, nice firmness in the tummy as you look down. And last one, as you inhale, coming to your version of a little cow movement here, lifting the heart, getting those shoulders away from the ears. And as you exhale, a little firmness in your tummy. But this time, you're going to bring the hands right back on that exhale to support you from the back. So you can maybe release those groins just a little bit more. So you're not striving here. Remember, it's more of a feeling of surrender. Nice, long, slow breaths. And bring your hands anywhere you need for support to make this happen. We're going to press into the feet and just roll a little bit onto the left hip and left side of the thigh. Right knee goes up a little bit. Nice and easy, coming back to center. And then right over to the other side. This time you're pressing more into the right side of the hip and the right thigh as you lift the left knee. And release. Stretching the legs out. We're all going to come down to the floor now. So easing yourself and use that abdominal core strength to assist as you come down. And coming right down to the floor. Separate the legs a little bit and separate the arms. First put the arms over the head. So really you're in a nice X shape with the arms and the legs. Next time you inhale, stretch both the left arm and the left leg, whole left side of the body, and as you exhale, you're releasing. Take it over to the other side, so as you inhale next, it's the right arm and the right leg that's stretching, right side of the body, and release. Do the same thing one more time as you inhale, the arm and leg and whole left side of the body is stretching. And you're releasing all of that as you exhale. And then the right side of the body on the next inhale. And releasing on the exhale. And then 2 breaths, fully arms and legs and torso stretching as you inhale and release as you exhale. And then again, give it all you've got. Really stretch, stretch, stretch. And release. Very nice. And slowly bring the arms down. Bring the legs a little more together. And then you can put the soles of the feet on the floor and slowly bring both knees towards the chest. And just let the arms support that. I like to hold it sort of loosely, and especially in this final position. So you might want to just clasp hands a little bit and use it as a little, almost like a little strap to hold your legs in. Just let yourself have a little gentle movement, maybe side to side, or maybe the tailbone just sweeps back and forth like a pendulum, or some combination of both. And just settle here, let the body really release and relax. So you want to feel your weight right on the mid and low back. Let it sink into the floor. Slowly now from here, we're going to bring our soles of the feet to the floor. And any final movement you need, we're ready to go into Shavasana. So just tune in a little bit and see what it is your body could use right now, so you can really surrender and relax as best you can. I leave it to you to explore this. And I'm doing just a little easy bridge pose. And just take a few more moments exploring any movement you'd like before you settle yourself into the very final Shavasana, the relaxation pose. Please don't skip this. I know you're at home, and so it'd be easy to do it, but include this into your practice. It's just going to be a few minutes. So as you come into your Shavasana, make sure there's a little separation between your legs. Let the arms be away from the rib cage just a little bit. And then feel that lovely sensation of just surrendering the weight of your body to the floor. Nice, long, slow breaths. And then start to feel that lovely protected feeling of you're being totally supported here. The floor has literally got your back. You're being supported as you release more and more into Shavasana. And just notice that your own breath is becoming longer and slower all by itself, just from letting go and following the rhythms of your body and breath. And if you are ready to close your practice, we're all going to slowly come to a seated position. So your choice, you're either going to remain in Shavasana or you're going to come up to a seated pose. And just take your time with this if you are coming to seated. For those of you who are coming along, if you just allow those few breaths to slowly come from the relaxed state back into a little more focus. So if you haven't already done that, you might want to open your eyes and just slowly let them come back to a clear and focused gaze. And hands to the heart. Namaste. Thank you all, and I will see you in the next video.